With hunting season well underway, a Haslett family is asking the community for help to jumpstart theirs. Their 13-year-old girl loves to hunt, but due to safety reasons, she's having a tough time finding a place to make it happen. Fox 47's Christiana Ford visited the family today and has the story.
Now, it's free to practice shooting here at the Rose Lake Shooting Range in Bath Township, but what 13-year-old Ava Gao really wants is the chance to shoot a buck just like her dad on private land safely. Crossbow cocked and loaded, 13-year-old Ava Gao lets it fly.
Bullseye.
It's a bullseye every single time. She and her dad are practicing for hunting season.
I love that I can provide for them and that I can feel like I've done something for my family and that I have accomplished a goal.
She killed her first deer with her dad at 9.
I was like, oh my God, did I shoot it? And I was just like everywhere with it, and I was just like, whoa.
Now older and more experienced,
I want to get a buck. I really, really want to get a buck.
There is just one thing standing in her way. This year, she doesn't have anywhere to hunt. Concerned about safety, her parents worry about her using public land.
You know, you hear all these things out there, especially on public land, which that's why we don't want her going out there.
I've taken chances on state land before, and I myself, as an adult, I felt unsafe.
They are scrambling to find some place for Ava to hunt that's reasonably priced and not booked before it's too late.
It's frustrating because I worked so hard for this, and I want to put it to work and see if I can accomplish that. But if we don't have any land to hunt on, it's hard.
So far, everywhere they've called near Haslett is either booked, too far, or too expensive. Marcy says she's gotten quotes anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 for the season.
They don't realize it's just a 13-year-old little girl trying to, get that experience.
Archery hunting season opens back up on December 1st, so she's hoping to find a spot on private land before then.
Thanks, Christiana. The family hopes to spread awareness about the challenges of finding private land for hunting. Let us know if you're interested in helping the family. Leaders with Flint Community Schools are considering closing 4 of the district's 12 school buildings amid a $5.7 million budget deficit, partly driven by rising special education costs not covered by the state. The superintendent presented the proposal this week. It would decrease transportation, security, maintenance, administrative, and other expenses. The district's special education student number has greatly risen from just under 15% in the 2014-2015 school year as Flint's water crisis began to now 24%. Downtown Lansing businesses are getting into the holiday spirit with some friendly competition. For the first time, businesses on Washington Street can participate in a holiday storefront challenge for the chance to win $200. Downtown Lansing Inc. says it's all thanks to Fudge and Frosting for sponsoring.
As Downtown Lansing Inc., we really want to prove this district as kind of the heart of downtown Lansing. So we try to think of creative and fun ways to really captivate and create energy downtown. And there's nothing quite like being downtown after 5 o'clock, of course, walking along the main street and seeing a bunch of well-lit and holiday decorated storefronts.
They're also hoping to promote spending in the area. The competition goes until December 2nd. You can vote for your favorite storefront at our website, WILX.com. Well, it was a beautiful day. The sun was out. Temps are in the 40s. Justin, you really couldn't ask for a better way to end the weekend.
No, Nicole, certainly we could not have. We had some above average temperatures for the first time in quite some time. I guess the only qualm I'd say I'd have is that at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, it looked like this outside. It's still very dark, obviously, out there. Traffic moving along just fine in the background on I-96. Temperatures have fallen into the 30s in a lot of locations, if some locations are still in those lower 40s. But what we're watching now is some surprise showers starting to pop up. We were expecting a little bit of that patchy drizzle in the forecast this evening, but some showers a little bit on the heavier side just north of Lansing right now. Those are kind of rolling through the area as we go throughout the next couple of hours. And in fact, most folks sitting right around 42 degrees in a lot of locations, give or take a degree or two. That's what we've got outside. A little bit of a wind coming from the south, so it's keeping the warmth in this area. Still feels just about the same, except in some of those areas where the wind's a little stronger. Lansing, Jackson, both feeling feeling more like they're in the upper 30s at this hour. So not too much different. Again, the satellite radar continues to show the showers kind of pushing into the area, but they're very, very light in nature, not really bothering us too much. And those are going to continue, as you see here, to press off towards our east. They're going to leave us with a mostly cloudy sky overnight. Now, are we going to be able to avoid any sort of rain coming up in the week ahead? I'll break all the details down coming up.
Thanks, Justin. Still to come on Fox 47 News at 10. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is now on the mend following another health scare. Find out how she's doing. Plus, developing details on a tragic investigation. 3 people were found inside a burned-out garage in Pennsylvania. But first,
House Democrats say the impeachment inquiry is far from over. I'm Mark Meredith in Washington. Coming up, I'll tell you what Congress is expected to do next.
You're watching Fox 47 News at 10.
House Democrats are preparing to advance their impeachment inquiry even as lawmakers return home for recess. The House Intelligence Committee could present its report to the Judiciary Committee after the Thanksgiving break. Fox News' Mark Meredith has more from Washington.
The House Intelligence Committee has not scheduled any more impeachment inquiry hearings, but the committee's chairman says it's possible more witnesses could be asked to testify after Thanksgiving.
We view this as urgent. We have another election in which the president is threatening more foreign interference. But at the same time, there are still other witnesses, other documents that we would like to obtain.
Over the next few weeks, the Intelligence Committee is expected to compile a report detailing its findings. The report would then go to the Judiciary Committee, where members could choose to draft articles of impeachment. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says there's no guarantee that the House will vote to impeach, though. Fox is told there are potential articles of impeachment under consideration, including bribery, abuse of power, including intimidation of witnesses, contempt of Congress, and obstruction of justice. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says if the House does impeach, the length of the trial could last several weeks. The timing of such a trial could also have a major impact on the 2020 presidential race. This, as GOP senators tell Fox News, they're ready for whatever comes next.
I do not think that the allegations will be summarily dismissed. I think there will be a trial, and I'm in favor of doing it in accordance with due process and let everybody offer whatever they want to in terms of evidence.
President Trump says he welcomes a trial in the Senate, although the White House has complained impeachment is preventing Congress from working on other issues like trade. The president has also recently met with GOP senators and discussed how impeachment may play out. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
An investigation is underway after 3 people were found inside a burned-out garage in Berks County, Pennsylvania. Firefighters responded to the fire inside the detached garage Saturday evening. Once they extinguished the flames, they found the bodies of 3 adults, an older couple and an adult son that lived in the home. The man who called 911 says he knew the family was home and called them and banged on the door, but there was no answer. State police said the investigation is in the early stages and offered few details about what happened. 4 people were taken to the hospital and 2 people remain unaccounted for following an explosion and fire in eastern Kentucky. It happened Saturday afternoon at a home in Wolfe County. As of this morning, there's no word on what caused the explosion. Officials say the home continues to smolder, so crews are not able to enter the home to try and find the 2 victims that remain missing. Crews were back on the scene Sunday to continue their investigation and look for those unaccounted for. Good news if you're driving to your Thanksgiving destination, gas prices are down. The national average is $2.66 a gallon. That's down 4 cents in the last 2 weeks. Analysts say the drop is likely due to an increase in supply now that several refinery repair projects are down. Demand goes down this time of year with fewer daylight hours and the holidays reducing the number of commuters. So analysts say to expect the price to go down a little bit more. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is on the mend following another health scare this weekend, requiring a hospital stay. Fox News' Garrett Tenney has the details on what sent Ginsburg into the hospital for this latest treatment.
The Supreme Court tells us Justice Ginsburg is back home and doing well after spending the past couple of days at the hospital. She was admitted Friday night after experiencing chills and a fever, according to the court. And given her age and recent health struggles, doctors kept her overnight for further evaluation and treatment of any possible infection. And with intravenous antibiotics and fluids, her symptoms have abated. This is the latest in a series of health scares for Justice Ginsburg. In the last year alone, she has had 2 bouts with cancer. In January, she missed arguments for the first time in more than 25 years as she recovered from surgery for lung cancer. And then in August, she completed 3 weeks of radiation for a cancerous tumor on her pancreas. Despite those health concerns, the leader of the court's liberal wing has long said she'll stay on the court as long as she can do the job full steam. Here's what she told NPR this past summer.
There was a senator, I think it was after the pancreatic cancer, who announced with great glee that I was going to be dead within 6 months. That senator, whose name I've forgotten, is now himself dead.
The 86-year-old said she'd like to stay on the court until she's 90, if not longer. For years, there's been near constant speculation about her potential exit, and while she has dismissed that talk, Republicans are salivating at the idea of President Trump being able to appoint a 3rd justice to the high court and expand its conservative majority. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said if there is any vacancy before the 2020 election, he will quickly move to fill it, something he refused to do with President Obama's nominee in 2016, arguing it was wrong to fill a vacancy on the high court during an election year. In Washington, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Redesigning toy cars. Find out why students are taking apart toy cars and transforming them when we come back.
You're watching Fox 47 News at 10.
The internet has finally been restored in Iran after a week of violent protests over gas price hikes. But the unrest has the U.S. officials concerned about the instability of the country. Fox News' Kitty Logan reports from London.
Iran is experiencing the most violent protests on its streets in many years. They seem to have died down a little on Saturday, at least for now. The internet was also partly restored in Iran on Saturday. It had been cut off for 5 days to prevent anti-government activists from posting content on social media. The US government had also imposed sanctions on Iran's information minister in response. The protests started over huge increases in fuel prices. Human rights groups say around 100 people have been killed, although Iranian authorities deny this. At least 1,000 people have been arrested. Meanwhile, US military commanders believe the threat from Iran is continuing to increase. That's despite a steady build-up of US forces in the region since early this year. Military commanders believe that presence alone is not enough to deter Iran from potentially carrying out some kind of attack on those forces. In June this year, Iran shot down a US drone over the Straits of Hormuz. The US military says that drone was in international airspace, which Iran disputes. And that incident caused heightened tensions between the US and Iran. And now Iran is blaming the US and its allies in the region for stirring up this latest unrest in the country. Tehran is, of course, still under enormous economic pressure from US sanctions. In London, Kitty Logan, Fox News.
After a record turnout for local elections, voters in Hong Kong have sent a strong pro-democracy message to Beijing. Initial returns from today's balloting show pro-democracy candidates winning a landslide victory in elections to district councils. But the election results are important in the semi-autonomous Chinese territory. Pro-democracy candidates won more than half of the 452 district council seats for the first time. They said their victories could increase pressure on Hong Kong's Beijing chief executive amid the city's worst political crisis in decades. Pope Francis arrived in Hiroshima this evening after visiting Nagasaki earlier in the day. He attended the gathering at a peace memorial park where survivors of the atomic bombing in 1945 spoke of their experience. In his message of peace, the Pope condemned the use of atomic energy for war as a crime against human beings. He said only an unarmed peace is true peace. The 82-year-old Argentine also called for elimination of nuclear weapons. He is the only He is only the second pope to visit Japan, following the footsteps of John Paul II in 1981. Hundreds of homes flooded due to heavy rain and storms that hit southeast France. The regions were put on the highest red alert for storms and flooding Saturday, but downgraded slightly to orange alert this morning. Several cities had to be evacuated due to the risk of flooding. As of last night, over 4,000 households were without electricity in the area. Arizona students are taking apart toy cars and transforming them for kids with physical disabilities. Sharifa Jackson has more on the story.
These unique set of wheels start as the basic toy cars you get at the store. But then they are transformed and customized, taking children with special needs to another level of freedom and mobility.
You know, our world is not constructed for people with different abilities. And so what our program does is it's not about special things for special kids. It's about creating a world together that works for everyone.
Robotics students at Barstow, the brains behind the ideas and modifications, creating all the switches, buttons, and detailed wiring. These teens testing their skills as they work alongside Variety KC and Go Baby Go to adapt the car, catering to each child's needs.
Gut the entire Power Wheels car, rewire it, recode it, and have a joystick and they'll be able to use. We'll also, instead of the gas pedal, we'll put a button behind their head, and that way when they sit up straight, they're able to go.
And it's not an easy task. For children like Everett, who is 2.5, he's anxious to get moving.
He's just now recently starting to be able to walk around, but he still he struggles with low muscle tone. So even though he walks, he still has to take breaks.
But for the first time, he's able to keep up with his big sister.
It's hard to even put into words, but it's really amazing to have him have his own car, be able to drive around.
For the so many others, these cars offer them a chance at being a kid, an idea made easier by other kids.
To see directly the impact that it has on the community, I feel has made me a more empathetic person.
Director of Go Baby Go, Kendra Gagnon, says it's a magical collaboration and emphasizes the Go Baby Go philosophy, that mobility is a human right.
Well, it's been more than 5 weeks since a Southfield woman was reported missing. After the break, hear from her family, who is not giving up hope as they search for her.
And mostly cloudy skies tomorrow morning at the bus stop and on the way off to work. I'm going to let you know what it's going to look like coming home, coming up in my full forecast.
You're watching Fox 47 News at 10.
Family of a missing Michigan woman is not giving up hope. Adrienne Quintal has been missing now for more than 5 weeks. Police say she was last seen at a cabin in mid-October. Now Quintal's sister is speaking out, saying she doesn't believe Adrienne would have taken off voluntarily. Jen Schnatz reports.
I would do anything to find my sister. I just desperately want to know that she's okay.
Jenny Bryson still can't piece together why her younger sister, Adrienne Quintal, would just up and disappear. She's now been gone more than 5 weeks.
My gut says someone took her, but that is, I don't have any evidence, and everything has been very confusing right from the beginning.
State police and the Benzie County Sheriff's Office are investigating. They say Quintal was involved in a shootout with 2 men at a cabin up north in mid-October. They say she called a family friend for help, telling them she'd shot one of the men in the face and asked them to call police.
Nothing makes sense.
Police searched the area. They found several bullet holes, but no blood. Bryson says Quintal's boots and her cell phone were found on the roof. Her purse was also left behind.
I don't see her running away or voluntarily leaving. Not like this.
Bryson was texting with her sister before she was reported missing.
The week before she disappeared, she adopted a dog from in the Benzie County Animal Shelter, and she sent me a picture of her and the dog, so she was happy by all accounts.
And she says her home in Southfield was just as she left it.
She was expecting to return home. Her clothes were all there. Her furniture is there. There was food in her refrigerator.
Quintal's family is now offering a $100,000 reward between now and November 30th for any information about her whereabouts. The family has also created a GoFundMe page to raise money for search efforts. Thanksgiving may be right around the corner, but many have their minds already on Christmas, especially after this year's silver bells in the city. And today, the Lansing holiday celebration continued by getting to talk and eat with the big man himself, Santa, through this year's annual Brunch with Santa.
It's a great opportunity to give families the ability to commemorate and capture the great moments that they had while they were here.
About 75 families came to take pictures with Santa, and Mrs. Claus make their own ornaments to decorate their tree and frost cookies. And one family is getting its Christmas present early this year. Kia Murray shows us how a Wisconsin mom and her 2 sons are grateful their military dad will be home for the holidays.
We want Daddy to come home.
Mary Needland and her 2 sons haven't seen Dad in months.
Troy's been gone for 7 months. He was deployed and he hasn't seen our kids since April. So today we are surprising them by Daddy coming home.
Mary's husband Troy has been serving with a Marine unit in Japan. Mary says the summer was hard on her family while Troy was away. But tonight, that changes.
I have the butterflies so bad. I don't know how the boys are going to react because they have no idea. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Oh, I'm so ready for it.
Right inside this tent, Sergeant Troy Neeland is about to tell his 2 sons, Drake and Harvey, that he's coming home early from Japan. Now, they haven't seen him in 7 months, and they're about to learn he'll be home for the holidays. Drake wrote this letter to Santa, asking if his dad could come home for Christmas. Little did he know,
Drake,
his wish would be answered sooner than later, leaving this 5-year-old at a loss for words.
Honestly, none of it really felt real until right in this moment when I walked in the tent.
The Needlands found out Troy was coming home just a few weeks ago.
You don't realize how much you miss until you're gone for that amount of time. Just as an example, when I left Harvey, the younger one was still babbling, and now he can string full sentences and talk.
Troy says he understands not every person who serves gets to see their families this time of year. So he has this message for those who aren't as fortunate.
Thank you for doing what you have to do so that I can come home and be with my family, and then maybe in the future we will reciprocate that, and so that you can be home and then I'll be in your place.
In Appleton, Kia Murray, Fox News.
Those stories are always so heartwarming. Well, we felt some warmer temps this weekend, but how long will it last? Plus, what weather can we expect as many travel for the holidays? Justin will be in next with the Storm Shield forecast.
You're watching Fox 47 News at 10. Your Storm Shield forecast, only on Fox 47 News.
Well, I know Thanksgiving is the next holiday, but I saw quite a few people putting up their Christmas lights over the weekend.
Already, I know. Well, with the nice weather we had, you can't really blame them too much. Thanksgiving late this year, too. I'm going to wait to try to put them up if I can later on, coming up towards Black Friday, but hopefully the weather will hold then. If you could take advantage the next couple of days, I'd suggest doing so if you're trying to get ahead of the curve. 42 degrees, our MSU campus cam out there right now. Now the pinpoint Doppler radar showing just a couple areas of some light drizzle. That's kind of making its way across the region as we go throughout the next couple of hours, but it's going to be fading out of the forecast as we go over that time period. Now the temperatures generally in those lower 40s. We've got 42 in Lansing, 43 towards Jackson. We've got a little bit of a wind as well. It's not too significant, but it's coming out of the southwest, anywhere really from 5 to 10 miles per hour, causing it to feel a little bit cooler, but only a hair. Just in the places that are seeing the stronger wind. Mason, for instance, is at the same reading, what it feels like, where the real temperature, I should say, is at. 37 is Lansing, and 38 is what it feels like in Jackson at this hour. Now again, satellite and radar, another look. You see right here, we've got that drizzle continuing to move into the area, but it is fading out of the picture. We're going to continue to see that as we go throughout the overnight. Future track not picking it up very well because of how light in nature it is. You see as we get towards the morning, some clearing. Clouds will start to roll back in early, though, on Monday, and that's going to be a theme throughout the day. We're going to have generally overcast to mostly cloudy skies. Some models trying to get a little bit of a rain shower going through the area, especially north of I-96. I think most folks end up staying dry and completely avoiding that. We'll just stay mostly cloudy through the day tomorrow, and then even a little bit of clearing as we get towards the evening before a few more clouds start to filter back into the overnight. Now we're down to 35 tonight, mostly cloudy again. Those areas of drizzle are going to be in the forecast, but they will start to fade out as we go through the overnight hours. So you're heading out to school tomorrow, off to work. you're going to have temperatures similar to what the low is. 36 is right where we're thinking we'll be, mostly cloudy skies. We will warm up though. We get towards the afternoon, some more ample cloud cover, but we get up to around 47 degrees. That's where we'll round it out, I think, just maybe a degree or two higher than that. You see the cloud cover sticking around all day, getting into those upper 40s once again. That's going to be the theme. But it will still feel fairly pleasant out there, especially with all the cold weather we've been seeing this month. We're going to have those temps in those upper 40s. South-southwest wind will be anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour, so a little breezier as well. We're going to have another decent day early Tuesday. Some showers move in late in the day, though. And you see our overnight low 41. That's milder than a lot of the high temperatures we've seen this month. Now, Wednesday is looking like the warmest day of the week. That's a big travel day for Thanksgiving for the holiday, but it's looking rainy and breezy right now. That'll continue throughout much of the day. Maybe just a couple travel hazards, but for the most part, all the snow staying well to our north, mainly our neighbors up in the UP. Now, Turkey Day itself, not looking too shabby. 38 is what we've got the high temperature at for right now. And you see that we'll carry those upper 30s towards the weekend as well. We have a few more snowflakes in the forecast come next weekend. And we'll start to turn the calendar over into December on Sunday. Can't believe it's already almost here. But again, Thanksgiving forecast not looking too bad. Just a little chilly, but as you mentioned yesterday, not too bad for some of those fun little family football games going on, all those things out in the yard. We got some pretty good weather for it there.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much, Justin. Tonight's pump patrol price is $2.13 at the Marathon Station on East Grand River Avenue and Kent Street in Portland. We're looking for the least expensive gas price in mid-Michigan every day. If you see it, give us a call at 484-8847 and we'll put it on TV. The Something box office needed a breath of fresh air, or how about cold air? A Disney sequel and two other new movies gave ticket sales a jump start this weekend. David Daniel has the box office's top 5 films.
Midway fell from 2nd to 5th, earning $4.7 million.
There are 21 bridges in and out of Manhattan. Shut them down.
The thriller 21 Bridges opened in 4th place on ticket sales of $9.2 million.
Do you consider yourself a hero?
I don't think of myself as a hero. No, not at all.
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood debuted 3rd, making $13.5 million.
It's because of what his cars mean. Victory.
Ford v. Ferrari downshifted to 2nd place. $16 million gave the drama $58 million in 10 days.
Excuse me, I climbed the North Mountain, survived a frozen heart, and saved you from my ex-boyfriend, and I did it all without powers. So, I'm coming.
Frozen 2 came out smoking with $127 million, the best November animated movie debut ever, and one of the best openings ever for an animated film. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, we're headed into a holiday week, and after the big meal on Thursday, many of us will enjoy some entertainment at home and just in time. There are some major new releases this week, including a comedy, a political thriller, and more. Fox News' Christina Coleman runs down the list of what's new in home entertainment.
I prayed for a second chance to save her.
Topping the list of what's new in home entertainment, the time-traveling thriller Don't Let Go, starring David Oyelowo as a detective who gets the chance to rewrite the past and uncover the truth behind his niece's murder.
Something unexpected has come up.
Kate Blanchett plays an architect who disappears just before a family trip to Antarctica in the comedy Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
I'll give it my best shot, sir.
The latest film in the Fallen franchise, Angel Has Fallen, features Gerard Butler reprising his role as Secret Service agent Mike Banning, who goes rogue after being framed for an attempted assassination on the president.
What were you employed to do?
Keira Knightley plays a real-life whistleblower in Official Secrets, the true story of British intelligence specialist Catherine Gunn, who exposed the American government's operation to invade Iraq in 2003.
I thought this was something we could finally make ours.
Gary Oldman stars in the horror flick Mary, a story about a family who discovers the boat they bought holds scary secrets.
I want revenge.
From TV to DVD, the complete 4th season of NBC's crime series Blind Spot.
Talked to him on the phone the other day.
And for music fans, Compton rapper The Game drops his 9th album, Born to Rap. In Hollywood, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Well, the Detroit Lions were in Washington this afternoon taking on the 1-9 Redskins. Could Detroit notch its 4th win of the year? Well, Seth Wells has the highlights coming up next.